Coming up on City Span, Making the Cut, new leadership at Metro Police. Making choices, middle schoolers explore their options.
Pitching an idea, baseball's future in Savannah. And talking numbers, council plans for big projects.
Stay tuned, City Span starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Margaret Williams.
And I'm Brett Bell.
Welcome to City Span, your source for news and information about Savannah city government.
Following a 5-month search, City Manager Stephanie Cutter has hired a new chief for the Savannah-Chatham Metropolitan Police Department.
Jack Lumpkin, Chief of Athens-Clarke Police Department, will be the new leader of Metro Police.
Police chief. I want to hear from the citizens, the elected officials, the city manager, the county manager, etc. I want to listen, learn, and lead. I would want to meet with the internal stakeholders, the internal customers, as I call them, those folks who are working for the Savannah-Chatham County Metropolitan Police Department. And I want to lead them by role modeling. I want to ask for their trust. I want to demonstrate that I deserve that trust. I want them to look at my past experiences and see, don't I deserve their trust? So you have to treat people with respect and dignity, whether they are working with you or you're delivering services to them. I think if you do that consistently with character and competency, people will trust you, and you'll be a relationship. Public safety is a shared responsibility between citizens and the police.
All 3 finalists came to Savannah in late September for interviews. They met with panels comprised of neighborhood presidents, government administrators, civic leaders, and faith-based leaders during the interview process. The panels provided feedback to the city and county managers before the final selection was made.
SCMPD is a department of 605 officers who provide police services in the city of Savannah and unincorporated Chatham County. Since the creation of combined police department in 2005, Part 1 crime has dropped nearly 30% across the jurisdiction to the lowest level in 40 years.
After-school learning opportunities can make a real difference in a child's life. How to improve those programs was the focus of a community conversation held in Savannah last month.
More than 250 local leaders, educators, representatives from faith-based organizations, parents, students, and community members gathered at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center on September 17th. The goal? To discuss the quality, quantity, and access to after-school learning opportunities for the city's middle school students. Mayor Edna Jackson led the event, which was organized with help from the National League of Cities, America's Promise Alliance, and the U.S. Department of Education.
What we are hoping is that we can come up with a plan of action of how we can reach out to our middle school kids, and we can assist the Board of Education by providing tutorial service. We're talking about soft skills. We're talking about career choices, everything, even athletics. In other words, we're talking about the whole child.
It was one of a series of events being held around the country focusing on early childhood education, after-school learning, and post-secondary success. They're exploring ways that cities can close the achievement gap and increase student outcomes, including non-academic outcomes, such as social-emotional skills. The community conversations are the result of a memorandum of understanding signed by the National League of Cities and the Department of Education.
This community conversation, hosted by Mayor Jackson, is about after-school learning opportunities for middle school students. So really thinking about how to bring all of the resources, assets, organizations, institutions of the community together to create higher quality after-school learning experiences and more accessible programs for middle school youth.
There are a number of things happening in Savannah already, but how do we then collaborate, make a stronger focus so that children and families are benefiting? Because we know that in that after-school time, children, out-of-school time is really a more appropriate term, of their waking hours, 80% of waking hours of children are out of school. And so how do we surround them with things that help them to grow, develop leadership skills, develop emotionally appropriately, as well as gain the academics? How do we help families to do that? So we believe this is a community effort, and today the mayor wanted to start that conversation. look at people who are already working in that space, invite everybody to come together and find ways to improve so that our children are the beneficiaries of the things that this community of Savannah can do together.
During the event, Mayor Jackson announced the formation of a task force to further address this issue. Plans are to conduct a review of after-school opportunities in the city, create a program locator for parents and youth to find programs, and to organize meetings with local philanthropies and businesses to discuss ways to support increased after-school programming. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Carol Lassell Miller.
It's all about making the right choices to put middle schoolers on a path to success for high school and beyond. That was the theme of the recent follow-up to last year's inaugural Youth Summit. Organizers aim to provide middle school students and their parents with the information and tools necessary to help the kids transition into high school and prepare for their upcoming careers.
Unlike last year's event, which was more rally and morale booster, this year's summit was more like a career fair that drilled down into core issues affecting youth. The aim was to identify skills and resources that will make them more successful in school and eventually life. And this year's summit aimed squarely at the challenges facing those in middle school, identified as a critical juncture on the road to success. More than 400 middle schoolers and their parents from the Savannah area came together in the Civic Center for a meal and information sessions. Speakers talked on everything from what it takes to score a Hope Scholarship to how to deal with the difficulties of transitioning from middle school to high school. The aim, said William Carplunk, of America's Promise Alliance was to identify issues and provide kids with the tools necessary to cope with them.
Middle school is a key point to be thinking about college and career even before you get to high school. I mean, and high school is really, high school graduation is just a starting line. So America's Promise has a uniting goal of trying to boost high school graduation rates, but we really view that as a starting point in the kid's life. So the idea is to get kids thinking early on that they can achieve that, and then from there move to careers or colleges or whatever they want to pursue.
America's Promise Alliance is a Washington, D.C. based nonprofit that works on a host of youth and community issues. It is focused on the principles of giving kids a healthy start through effective education, access to safe places, and opportunities to give back. And it helps parents find the information they need to help their children take advantage of opportunities. Research has shown that one of the key ingredients in the success of any young student is an interested adult who can mentor them. Rashay Williams, an 8th grader from Esther Garrison, said the summit had helped her to focus on a future in medicine by talking to professionals working in the field.
In order for me to find a career and actually know what I'm going to do and actually know what it's like to do it, I need to go around and kind of talk to people who are professionals at it. They helped me with a bunch of stuff that I had questions for and how to do things and what does what. It was just very helpful.
The event was part of a nationwide effort spearheaded by America's Promise Alliance, which is conducting 100 similar such events across the country over the next couple of years. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Salam Manaya.
The city's capital improvement program focuses on maintenance and infrastructure that allows the city to better deliver services to the public. Last month, city staff and elected officials holed up in the Bunker Light Critical Workforce Shelter. The purpose, to nail down specifics on upcoming capital improvement projects like the new Cultural Arts Center and drainage and sewer projects. The idea was to try to predict the future and to match the city's wish list of desired projects with income expectations ahead of budget talks. And the capital improvement retreat provided a chance to begin sketching out a roadmap into the city's future.
It's called a retreat, but it's only a retreat from the demands of the daily grind, in order to concentrate more fully on the demands of the big picture. And the big picture in capital improvement means trying to predict the future by laying out plans for maintenance and infrastructure improvements while making sure the funding is in place to make them a reality.
The city finance and budget staff are trying to forecast and predict the future. There are different assumptions that are happening. We're looking at economic indices, our sustainability of our economy and the region, not only for the city of Savannah, but regionally and statewide, and on a federal level as well. And so, just as we do 5-year revenue forecasts, we also do 5-year expenditure forecasts for municipal operations, and as a part of our long-term financial planning. We also want to make sure that we match that up with the same number of year increment with our capital plan budget as well.
It's a planning session for city officials and staff to focus on the wish list of things they would like to see happen in the city to improve the quality of life, while staying grounded in balance sheets to make sure that the dreams are actually possible. Such projects as Ellis Square, the Bacon Park tennis courts, the Forsyth Park bandshell, and others all began as ideas that passed through this very same digestive process. And this year, things like the President Street Improvement Project, the Cultural Affairs Center, sewage and drainage projects are all on the list for consideration.
You know, we have to do 5-year planning out, and so what we're doing is looking at where we're going next year as far as the projects and thereon, and if we're going to, when we're going to do it, and the cost, because as you know, cost goes up all the time anyway.
The city's budget retreat, where the wish list comes under hard scrutiny, is slated for November. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
Coming up on CitySpan, taking small business to the next level.
And later, helping our community. City employees rise to the top.
Overgrown yards aren't just unsightly, they're also environmental and public nuisances. They make neighborhoods less attractive and can pose a threat to health and public safety. Overgrown yards and lots are also against city ordinance. To report overgrown yards or lots, or to help keep the city free of blight of any kind, call the city's 311 non-emergency customer service line. With your help, we can move all of Savannah from blight to bright.
Welcome back to CitySpan. I'm Brett Bell. Is there a new baseball stadium in Savannah's future? Consultants hired by the city earlier this year are recommending a new multi-use stadium on the Savannah River Landing site east of the Marriott Hotel on the waterfront. During an October 2nd work session, representatives from Chicago-based Johnson Consulting presented their findings to City Council. Among the highlights of the $55,000 study, the consultants say a new stadium would double attendance at minor league baseball games, increase tourism, boost local spending by an additional $4 million annually, draw approximately 276,000 attendees a year, and spur further development in the area surrounding the stadium.
It's our judgment and our analysis that tells us that you will experience the same type of performance and well-being that the other markets have faced.
I get a lot of folks that say, we want a new stadium, but don't you put tax dollars in it. And I mean, it's all over. In fact, last night, and unscientifically, I put it on Facebook, and the thread stretches from here to the wall of people that say, no public dollars.
Everyone I talk to is talking about, will my taxes go up? Or how much will the city of Savannah have to pay? So that is the concern that I have and the answers that I need.
I am like my other aldermen in terms of I've got major problems with using Savannah River Landings, both because of the cost of number one, even being able to buy, or should we buy, the cost of the land acquisition.
I consider that a very pristine location, and I would be very, very particular about what I'd like to see there as far as my constituents are concerned and the city is concerned as a whole.
While no vote was taken on the stadium issue during the meeting, Council did ask City Manager Stephanie Cutter to work with staff to present a recommendation for a vote later in the year. And any plans will need to take into consideration the future of historic Grayson Stadium. In the meantime, Savannah Sandgnats owners Hardball Capital have extended their lease to play at Grayson Stadium for 1 more year.
Over 250 local entrepreneurs and business owners gathered last month for the annual Mayor's Small Business Conference. The mood was definitely upbeat, with signs of revitalization everywhere. Big projects like Ben Carter's redevelopment of Broughton Street and Richard Kessler's Georgia Power Station project. But the focus of this group is on small business, making sure they don't get lost in the shuffle. Jody Jenkins has the story.
The theme for this year's event was taking your business to another level. And event moderator B. Ray of the Creative Coast opened with a personal story of being in the parking lot of the internationally renowned Harvard Business School this past summer when she was stopped by an admirer singing the praises of Mayor Jackson and the city of Savannah.
I was approached by a woman who ran up to me and said, "Your daughter's name is Savannah. Have you ever been to Savannah? Do you know anything about Savannah? Have you ever met Mayor Jackson? I am a fan of hers. Do you know her? Do you know that she is pro-business? Do you know that she's working hard to support entrepreneurs?" It was a pretty exciting moment to be in that environment, in an environment around the world is known for its business, to be approached and to be asked about our own mayor.
The implication was that if those at a globally prestigious business school knew of Mayor Jackson and her efforts to lend a hand to businesses, the city must be doing something right. And Mayor Jackson was appreciative for the shout-out.
I needed that this morning. I am so grateful.
And then Jackson went on to say the city was there for small businesses because they were the engine driving the city's prosperity. And she praised city manager Stephanie Cutter for her activist stance in making Savannah a better place to do business.
So we are here to be a part of you, to be a part of all of your efforts. Use us.
Kyle Hensel with the UGA Small Business Development Center in Savannah said this kind of event is good for rejuvenating and recharging by mingling with like-minded business people. And he said the times are exciting for doing business in Savannah.
Everyone is just excited about all the changes, everything that's happening in Pooler, everything in downtown, the revitalization of the downtown area. It's created this spirit that's really contagious, and we've had a lot more people coming into, the SBDC or SCORE or any of the other programs to try to help get on the small business bandwagon, I guess you could say.
Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
This month, the city began accepting electronic submissions of building site permits. The new system is more efficient with a focus on providing better customer service. With the new system, staff expects to see shorter review times due to instant access to submitted plans, as well as allowing for cleaner and more concise plan review comments directly on the plan submitted. An electronic record of submissions will allow users and staff to better track plan status. The system also has a positive impact on the environment by significantly reducing the amount of paper involved in the process. Information about the tool can be accessed at the city's website at savannahga.gov/development.
The Small Business Assistant Corporation provides business loans, counseling, training, and more to small business owners in Savannah and the Lowcountry. Each month on CitySpan, we highlight a local business that has benefited from those services. SBAC's Leandria Michael has more.
Today we're visiting Mr. Johnny Brown, owner and conductor of Freedom Trail Tours. With over a decade of experience, Mr. Brown is an expert in local African American history. The company was started to share major historical events right here in the city of Savannah. With the custom bus and a top hat, this tour is as unique as the city itself.
Now, incorporated, I think it was around 2005, and to expand, was getting at the point where, word of mouth had really grown for me. So I was getting a lot of people, a lot of phone calls, a lot of groups were coming in because of the tour. So I needed to expand, and that is get a new bus, because I began with a 15-passenger van. So I needed to secure a bus for the volumes of numbers I was getting. So therefore, I was able to, through my personal finances and a bank loan, was able to purchase a bus. And then I heard about the SBAC, how they offer low interest loans. I'm like, wow, that's something that I need to do. So I began the process a number of years ago, and I was able to secure the loan. So that helped me in my expansion phase of the tour company. Oh man, without the SBAC, I would not even be standing in front of you right now. It's not really, a lot of things I needed to do, I just didn't have the funding to do it. and it really helped out. And I think the interest was at 4% or whatever. So I mean, it's really, you know, cheaper than almost going to any other bank or even through credit. So I mean, they played a very instrumental role in my expansion. I mean, to be an entrepreneur in this society is a lot of hard work. If you don't like, and which, you know, I can deal with anybody. I don't mind clocking in 9 to 5. If you don't mind working extra hours and around the clock, and if you have the perseverance, and if you have the willpower, I mean, entrepreneurship is the way to go. It's the way to go.
Freedom Trail Tours has been featured in USA Today, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal. If you need a loan to get your small business on track, visit us in the Small Business Resource Center at 111 East Liberty Street, or check us out online at sbacsav.com. Reporting for the Small Business Assistance Corporation, I'm Leandra Michael.
Each month on CitySpan, we team up with the folks at Bank on Savannah, an initiative of Step Up Savannah, to provide you with easy tips to help you make the most of your money. With more, here's Richard Reeve from the Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Savannah.
When it comes to paying off debt, there are two popular methods to consider. One is debt stacking, the other is debt snowballing. Let's take a look at how they work. For debt stacking, start off by making a list of all of your debts. Rank them by interest rate, from highest to lowest. With debt stacking, you make the minimum payment on all your loans. Then you use any extra money to pay off the debt that has the highest interest rate. In the example, that would be credit card 1. Once you've paid off credit card 1, you then pay the debt with the second highest interest rate. It'll take you longer to repay credit card 2 since it now has the highest balance. Debt stacking saves you the most money, but it can take a long time to pay high balance debt. Using the snowball method, you can pay extra towards the debt with the lowest balance. Take a look at this example. In this method, rearrange your debts by balance amounts from smallest to largest. Start by making the minimum payment on all your loans. Then use any extra money you have towards the debt with the smallest balance. You'll see progress more quickly as you pay your debts, but it costs you more money in the long run than debt stacking. Paying off debt can be a little like dieting. There are ideal eating plans out there, but the best diet is the one you'll stick to. Which debt method do you think would work best for you? Pick one and get started today. Until next month, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
Still to come on CitySpan, improving a neighborhood, a sign of the times.
And later, quilting as art in the stories they tell.
Abandoned, forgotten, unable to move on their own, an eyesore, a nuisance, a threat to public safety, and against city ordinance. Derelict vehicles left on public property will be towed after 10 days and on private property after 30 days. Abandoned vehicles left on public property, including streets, will be towed after 5 days and on private property after 30 days. To report blight of any kind, call 311 or visit the city's website. Help move all of Savannah from blight to bright.
Can we do it? Can we do it? I don't even know what the goal is. I don't know what the goal is, but are we going to reach it? Yes. Is that a promise? Yes. All right. We are going to reach our goal. Thank you.
With that challenge for Mayor Edna Jackson, the City of Savannah kicked off its annual United Way campaign. City employees, with encouragement from City Manager Stephanie Cutter, pledged their support for more than 100 United Way agencies in Savannah.
You all just provide such great inspiration. So as we kick off the city's United Way campaign, let's even get a little closer as we come together to support the needs of this Savannah community.
We are one family. It is not about me as being the mayor or the city council. It is not about the I. It is about the we. And y'all, in this campaign, we are going to do it. Thank you.
The city's United Way campaign goal for this year is $257,000. City employees have risen to the occasion in the past, having contributed more to United Way than any other municipality in Georgia. That helps United Way provide funds for more than 100 human service programs, representing 61 nonprofit organizations in a 4-county service area that includes Bryan, Chatham, Effingham, and Liberty counties. The United Way of the Coastal Empire's target goal for 2014 has been set at $8,888,888.
City officials and residents of the Cann Park neighborhood gathered last month to unveil the new sign for Myers Park. It's the latest effort by residents in the area to improve the appearance of their neighborhood. And City of Savannah Alderwoman Estella Shabazz said it was a prime example of the city responding to its citizens.
Residents, you all are the ones who live here, who see the park more than all the rest of us who are standing around. So we ask that you continue to do what you have been doing for years, taking care of the park, and now it has a name.
Myers Park is named after former Savannah Mayor Herman Myers, a successful businessman who was the driving force behind the construction of City Hall and was the first mayor to serve in the new City Hall in 1905.
And finally on City Span, since the revelation of the incredible talent of the G's Bend quilters in Alabama in 2002, quilting has taken its place among the fine arts in America. It's been featured in gallery and museum shows across the country. The city's Space Gallery has been showcasing local quilting talent with cloth color and creativity, an exhibit put on in cooperation with the Savannah Quilt Guild. The show highlights not only the fine craftsmanship quilting involves, but also the stories and personalities of those with a passion for this unique brand of haute couture.
Bonnie Brooks is a bit of a storyteller. As she pulls out her quilts and unfurls them for an admiring audience who appreciates the skill and dedication such work takes, she tells how she became an accidental businesswoman. And she explains her passion for quilting is about more than mastering the art of piecing fabric. It's about story, and what story says about life.
Every quilt does have a story. Every quilt has the personality of the lady that's put it there. So everybody has got a story to tell in their quilt, even if it's just through the choice of fabrics that they have used, or the choice of the technology that they want to put in there. So every quilt does have a story. So why not tell stories?
Brooks was on hand at the Black Box Theater in the Cultural Arts Center in late September to share her love of quilting as part of a gallery exhibit, Cloth, Color, and Creativity, put on by the Savannah Quilt Guild. According to Helen Wiley, Vice President and Program Chairman of the Guild, it's the second quilting show in the gallery. And it's a testament to the fact that quilting has come out of the closed circle of the bee and into the mainstream of art.
It gives a credibility to a quilting art that it did not have before. People will pay thousands of dollars for an oil painting, but don't think of art as in a quilt, where many more hours may have been spent and many more techniques used. But also the world of fabric production has opened up a lot to quilters, where quilts used to be recycled fabrics. Now you can buy whole color waves of fabric with 40 different fabrics in one collection. So the possibilities for color are infinite, or the possibility of dyeing your own, which many people do.
Brooks, who gave the presentation in the Black Box Theater, said that aside from the creative aspects that quilting offers, there's a therapeutic aspect to quilting for practitioners as well.
I haven't found a home yet that doesn't have its issues. They can sit at that sewing machine, work with these quilts, and just let their mind go have peace and quiet, and just use that creativity so that they can then turn around and meet the world.
The Savannah Quilt Guild meets the second Saturday of each month from September through June, offering workshops, programs, challenges, and mystery quilts. It has about 75 active members from Chatham County and the surrounding area, including South Carolina. For more information, visit savannahquiltguild.com. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Saja Hours.
The Cultural Arts Gallery is located at 9 West Hendon Street. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with free off-street parking available. You can get more information by calling 651-6783 or visiting savannahga.gov/arts.
You know, Margaret, I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I know absolutely zero about quilts.
Actually, my aunt was into quilting, crocheting, and knitting, and she had quilts for us made that had these beautiful little girls on the top of them. I have no clue where they are now, but they were really nice.
Yeah, they really are a rich part of American culture and tradition. I'll check it out, again, because I know zero about this stuff, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun.
Visit Space Gallery and see the exhibit they have on display.
There you go.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of City Span.
Don't forget, for the latest news and information about the City of Savannah, keep it tuned to SGTV, visit our website at savannahga.gov, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Until next time, I'm Margaret Williams.
And I'm Brett Bell.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home.